Hello world. This is book trailer number 26, and it's called The False Prince by Jennifer Nielsen. She writes just high interest books. I used to work detention on Saturdays, and I had a sign in my classroom that said, "Reading gives you someplace to go when you have to stay where you are." So I had a lot of reluctant students who just claimed to not be readers. And I said, "You haven't found the right book yet." And this is the one of the many of the books that I would try to trailer for them. And I had a post-it note, and I'd say, just read this far, just up to chapter 3. And if you don't like it, we'll find another book. And then I would just, tell them a little bit about it. This false prince, it's a character named Connor, and he has a cunning plan to train some boys to be the imposter of the king's long-lost son. And he does this by purchasing boys in different orphanages that have the same physical characteristics. And then he's going to train them and pick one to be the false prince. And it says under the title, it says, "Choose to lie or choose to die." So I'll just read a little bit so you can see the flavor of the book. One of the orphans he gets is Sage, and he's a very sarcastic boy, and this is when he gets Sage. And this is the very beginning, chapter 1. "If I had to do it all over again, I would not have chosen this life. Then again, I'm not sure I ever had a choice." So it's written first person. This is Sage. "These were my thoughts as I raced away from the market with a stolen roast tucked under my arm." And then he gets caught. "And I might have made it if not for the bald man sitting outside the tavern who stretched out his foot in time to trip me. Luckily, I managed to keep hold of the roast, although it did no favors to my right shoulder as I fell onto the hard dirt road. The butcher leaned over me and laughed. 'About time you get what's coming to you, filthy beggar.' As a point of fact, I hadn't begged for anything. It was beneath me. His laughter was quickly followed up with a kick to my back that chased my breath away. I curled into a ball, prepared for a beating I wasn't sure I'd live to regret. The butcher landed a second kick and had reared back for a third when another man shouted, 'Stop!' The butcher turned. 'You stay out of this. He stole a roast.' An entire roast? Really? And what is the cost?' 30 garlands. My well-trained ears heard the sounds of coins in a bag. Then the man said, 'I'll pay you 50 garlands if you turn that boy over to me now.'" So this is how Connor gets Sage. It's a great read. It is a trilogy. And the best part of that is, once you read this with a loved one, I read this one aloud to my students. And then there are 2 more books. And of course, if they want to find out what happens, they need to read those independently. So it's a good way to get somebody hooked. And there's 2 more books, and it's an awesome story. Jennifer Nielsen, she's a great author. Enjoy.